Hey guys, this is Josh from Musilesson here coming at you with another video for another article. This is for the article Applying Beats and Rhythms to Sheet Music, okay? Now, sheet music, it's something that I talk about from time to time, and I just want to get back to a caveat that I always try to give you guys. You don't have to read sheet music to be a great musician. There are countless people throughout time who did not know how to read sheet music, but were still great musicians. So it's not necessary, it's not mandatory. That said, I really like it. I like to teach it to my students at some point because this way you always be able to communicate with other musicians who can read sheet music. It's the language of musicians. It's very, very helpful. So I like it. I encourage it. It can help you learn the names of the notes that you're playing, but very importantly, it helps with rhythm. That's what we're gonna talk about here. Okay. So let's talk about quarter rests. We've already talked about quarter notes. Let's talk about quarter rests. Quarter rests are a count of silence. Okay. This means that we don't play any music in a measure when we get to the rest. Okay. Stop. Silence. Silencio. Don't do anything. Okay. Now, in our example here, and generally, this only applies to the spot where we see the rest. Okay? Everywhere else in the measure where there's a note, you're going to play that note. All right? So in our example, under the header quarter rest, we've actually got two measures side by side. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. Okay? And what I want you to do is just count that out loud first. Actually, do it with me right now. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. Okay? You can even do it like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and count the rest in your head silently, okay? Because that's how it's actually going to sound. Now go ahead and look down where it says quarter notes and rests on sheet music, okay? Notice that that quarter rest is that funny little squiggly line there, okay? And just observe that. Really memorize it. Figure out what it looks like. It's got quarter notes next to it. Then you've got that quarter rest as the fourth beat. Okay, the fourth beat, the fourth count of silence, as it were. Okay, memorize what that looks like. That is a quarter rest. Okay. Okay, so it's pretty simple. It's the same concept of counting. It's just we're not playing anything or not saying anything on that count. Okay. Now, the treble clef. There's a symbol there. It's the treble clef. This is the clef that violinists play on. If you're reading in this clef, it's pretty much, it's not guaranteed, but it's very likely that you'll be able to play the notes that are on this clef, okay? If the music's written for a piano, you might not be able to. Sometimes if it goes too low, because that can happen, okay? But violins can generally play a lot of things, if not all, of what's on the treble clef, depending on what instrument that piece of music was actually written for originally. Okay, it's called the treble clef, also known as G clef, because it circles the G line. It's the second line up from the bottom. That's a G note, so it circles that G line, that G note there. That's why it's called the G clef as well. Okay. Next up, we have a time signature. This is also called the meter. Okay. The time signature has numbers, and they're stacked on top of each other like a fraction. Okay. And there's a way you can read it, okay? And there's a couple of things that you're just going to have to memorize for right now, and I'll get into more of it later on. But the top number tells you how many beats are in a measure, okay? So this is always about how many beats are in a measure or what, so on and so forth, something like that. The top number tells you how many beats are in a measure, okay? The bottom number tells you what gets the beat, all right? The bottom number tells you what gets the beat. Now, there's a sentence that I've created for you, okay? And this is where you're going to have to just do some memorization because the bottom number means a specific note, specific type of note that you're going to count or assign that number to, okay? So 4 on the bottom simply means quarter note. 4 on the bottom means quarter note, means the quarter note gets the beat. That's what a 4 on the bottom means, okay? So here's the sentence that I've constructed, okay? Go for the top number first, okay? There are 4... Okay, that's the top number. There's 4, the quantity, the amount. 4, the bottom number is 4. That means quarter notes. Okay, so there's 4 quarter notes in a measure. 4 quarter notes in a measure. Okay, 4 quarter notes in a measure. All right? And that's the sentence that you can use to memorize and help yourself know and understand how many beats are in a measure and what gets the beat. Okay? So very useful there. Okay, and then we have the double bar line. Okay? The double bar line is 2 bar lines. One is very thin. The other one is very thick. They're vertical. They're both vertical. Okay? Those are what bar lines are for, or the double bar line is. Okay? They're both vertical. And it means the end of a song. The absolute end, finito, no mas, no more, that's it, we're done, okay? I don't know if I could say that. I probably could say that a few more times, but I'm not going to try. Okay, that means the end of a song, okay? And that's what you want to look for so that you can know to stop playing, okay? And not just stop playing for a short amount of time, just stop playing, okay? And this is important, because otherwise, how else would we know that it's time to quit, okay? So that's important. Now you've got some tools that you need to be able to read some simple song selections and the examples that we've already done previously in the Musilesson method here up to this article. So you can go back and read those. This stuff will help you read that. It'll make sure that you're coming along and understanding how to read music so that you can keep moving forward and keep understanding music more and keep counting, learning how to count better and better and better. And so that you can actually find music and play music with other people. So that's very important. Okay, make sure you have committed this information to memory. I hope this helps you guys. Just keep practicing it, keep thinking about it, keep saying it out loud, and I'll see you at the next article.